these have been really marvelous meetings, a chance for us to gather as members of the Intellectual Apostolate, professors, researchers, teachers from around the world, and talk about what Jesuits do in this very particular mission, this one where we try to influence thought, where we try to address pressing issues of the day, we try to draw on philosophy and theology, the great resources of the Church. And now we're confronted with a new time that asks us to respond in new ways. And you know, for these last 3 days, we've discussed what we're doing in all our different countries from around the world. India and Indonesia, Spain and Mexico, the United States, France, Belgium. We've been looking at how do we address the needs of the world today. And we've been challenged by Father General to be creative, to collaborate more together, to think about new models of the intellectual apostolate, and make sure that the Jesuits can continue to be a vibrant force, helping the Church address the needs of the world today. I've been surprised by how challenging that is, how much it pushes me as an individual to make sure that I stay supple and ready to respond to new needs, but also try to remain, in a sense, grounded in a kind of Jesuit humility that recognizes how little we can really know, how little we can really do, but also how that calls us to great things. And I've been really moved by being with the rest of the group as well, seeing their challenges and struggles they face, the contributions they make in their apostolates. It's inspired me. So when I go back, I'll remember their faces, their stories, and I really can't wait for ways that we'll collaborate together in the future, when I can invite them to Georgetown or they can invite me to their home apostolates, and we can work together in this very important mission.
I was invited to this meeting by Father General together with a selection of Jesuits from all over the world, being active in different sectors, different disciplines in the intellectual apostolate. So looking at ways of bringing together faith, social justice and thorough thinking. It's been particularly interesting for me to be here as one of the lay people here in this group of Jesuits, because it made me realize how important it is to do this work together as lay people, as priests, religious people, that it's possible to think in an open way about difficult issues that are not only about theology or philosophy, but also on social issues, economics, political sciences, history. So it's important to think about these different issues and show people that you really can do this from a perspective that's related to faith, but it's also critical of society. So do really deep thinking there. And I was struck during this meeting by the open mind, the sharing of difficulties, but also of lights, of joy, of doing research, of meeting each other and finding common ground. So I found it really a challenging meeting, but also a very interesting one.
See, you had the representation of the spirituality secretariat in your meeting. How does that affect the lay collaboration? Like people like you, how does the spirituality of Jesuits affect you in your work? And what is the need of this spirituality for the world today? Do you think that it is something which is needed for not only Jesuits or also for others?
Well, I think the spirituality there is important in the sense that it invites you to reflect deeply, to look back on the things you've done, and then give it back to the world. So have this going to and fro from the world to your study room, and then bring it back to the world, so that it makes science relevant to people, to the community, to society. So I think that's very, very important there.
I feel very grateful to have been invited to this meeting of people who have been engaged in the intellectual apostolate. I teach philosophy at the Diarkara School of Philosophy in Jakarta, Indonesia. As we know, Indonesia is very multicultural, multi-religious society, and it's very challenging to get people in this kind of an effort to bring people together to live it harmoniously in this such a pluralistic context. I've been very grateful to know so many the people here who are invited to this meeting to share our lights and shadows as in our works, and also the challenges. And also I would like to bring home all the things they have shared. I feel like they have companions in this effort, because the problems, the words are so huge, and we cannot do it with ourselves. So the collaboration that Father General has instituted on is really very important. Both collaboration with the Jesuits and the laity. I'm very grateful for this meeting. I hope all the efforts that the people who have been engaged in this apostolate can continue on more and more.
Bueno, en primer lugar, para mí fue una sorpresa la invitación, y fue un gusto saber que desde la Curia General se convoca este tipo de análisis, de reflexión con investigadores de varias partes del mundo, de varias provincias, jesuitas, laicos, y creo que lo más importante fue tratar de hacer un diagnóstico, en primer lugar, de la realidad que se vive de este apostolado en las distintas partes donde trabaja la compañía, y que es importante ver también la importancia de esta acción en nuestro presente y a lo largo de la historia que la compañía ha desarrollado en sus trabajos no solamente educativos, sino también sus trabajos misioneros, en sus trabajos de promoción social. Creo que el resultado ha sido muy bueno, que nos hemos enriquecido bastante con las visiones que se tienen en los distintos continentes, en las distintas asistencias, y bueno, espero que sea un empuje para poder continuar no solamente en esta reflexión, sino en una acción más eficaz y que pueda enriquecer el trabajo de la compañía, de la iglesia y de la sociedad.
So the goal of this meeting was to help Father General to have field echoes on what's going on in intellectual apostolate, so on the light shadows of intellectual apostolate in our provinces, place where we live. So we were 7 from different countries, 7 Jesuits and 2 other lay persons. So it was very nice. It was the first time for me to meet other scholars from Indonesia, for example, or from India, so from Latin America, United States. So we could enjoy the trust among us to share what we experienced in intellectual apostolate. It was also a great encouragement for us to share what were the joys and also the difficulties in intellectual apostolate. So I will leave also with a lot more courage to go further in my research and teaching.
Okay. How do you think the spirituality, Jesuit spirituality, is inculcated into the intellectual apostolate?
Intellectual apostolate, there is a kind of special spiritual struggle, so to have courage to stay, read, research, and not have maybe a more rewarding gratification with a lot of contact with persons. So there are a lot of time where we are also alone with books, and so we meet person, but through books and through reading. So it's there is also a sacrifice dimension in the intellectual apostolate.
In the Society of Jesus, the intellectual apostolate has been one of the important apostolates all through. And in India also, we have seen there are great stalwarts who engaged in their intellectual apostolate. For example, we had Robert de Nobly, Besky, Hiras, Enriquez, and so many scholars have contributed a lot to the society at large and to the church. And we have come here to share our views, our opinions our challenges, our joys and our shadows which we are experiencing in our countries, in our assistancies, in our conferences, while engaging in the intellectual apostolate. It was a very good, wonderful experience for us. We have listened to each other and their experiences, their joys, their shadows and their areas of concern, etc. And nowadays we are experiencing new challenges, new concerns in different parts of the world. For example, in India, we have to challenge the globalization, the evil effects of globalization, the emerging religious fundamentalism, and dialogue with cultures and religions. So these are the new challenges among others. How we are going to cope with these challenges through our intellectual writings, research, or in our academic institutions. These are the main areas of concerns for us in India. Of course, like this, there are many challenges and concerns expressed by other fellow Jesuits who are working in other universities and educational institutions. And to contribute to the society at large and to the church, the Jesuits alone cannot work. So we need some lay collaboration who are doing the same work for the betterment of the society. So that also was a very good, very enriching experience for us. The two lay brothers, lay scholars who participated in this conference contributed a lot to this development.
Okay, Father Gentle was with you throughout the meeting. What was his remarks after meeting, and what was his input? Can you say it in a few words?
Yes, he appreciated our openness, our frank sharing, and he was very happy to be with us, and he encouraged us, and he asked us to go deeper into our concerns and to present to contribute to the church, particularly at this time of historical time. How best we can contribute to the church in forming our scholastics or our seminarians in all other aspects.